My name is Sass, and I'm here at my urban farm in central Tacoma, Washington, and Share the Wealth Organics. And we're doing a YouTube video today with EnviroHouse on how to plant potatoes. So prior to doing this prep work for getting ready to plant potatoes, I did turn the bed 2 times and added 2 wheelbarrowfuls of organic compost. No chicken compost in this one, and you can reference the YouTube video for planting onions to see that process. So that was done earlier, and then to get the potato bed ready, I use my handy dandy little measuring sticks again. And this is a 4x10 foot bed, so this can hold 30 potato plants. So the spacing in from the edges is 9 inches in from the edges, 12 inches apart lengthwise, and then the middle row goes right smack halfway in between the bed. For this bed it's 22.5 inches. And then the other row goes 9 inches in from the bed as well. So I've marked all the holes with just a little hand trowel, and then I'm starting down here. I've actually dug the holes with this nice handy little shovel because it's really easy to get down without having to do it. You can do it with a trowel, but it takes a lot longer. So you want to go about 8 to 9 inches deep. And then to prep the potatoes, I bought these at a nursery. They're seed potatoes. This particular variety is called Satina. It's a yellow potato that I think is better than Yukon Gold. And so I always cut them in half and then let them air dry for 4 or 5 days. They can go longer. It doesn't matter if you don't get to planting them. Nothing will happen to them. They'll just be drier. And this heals them over a little bit so that the damp potato isn't with the damp soil, so less chance of rotting, although typically they don't rot, they'll just grow. And then of course you can see all your little eyes that are going. So prepped these a few days ago, and then when I actually go to put them in the hole, I use 2 halves of a potato, and I kind of try and pair ones with fewer eyes with ones with more eyes. And you want to make sure the flat side is down when you put them in the hole, that way all the eyes are facing up, less work to do when you're growing. And just put them so that they're flat in the hole, and then cover in your hole. And then we'll get 2 for this guy over here. And cover in this guy, and this is our marking hole for that one because I don't want to figure out where I'm going here. And then as you're digging your next hole, you can use that soil to fill in and keep going that way. Then you have some place to put the soil that you're making your new hole with. And I know there's different thoughts on potato growing. Some people like to hill, to hill or not to hill. In a raised bed, flat is just fine because basically the whole bed is like a hill because it's elevated. And I do have pumice in all my beds. And that really helps with drainage. Potatoes like really good drainage, but they also like a lot of humus, a lot of decayed material. So they like really rich soil, but good drainage. And a bed this size will typically produce anywhere from between 125 to 140 pounds of potatoes. So I've got the measurement going there. And pick out our 2 potatoes to plop in there. Dig our next hole. You just want to make sure that you're paying attention and you know which holes are filled with potatoes. Sometimes if you're working with more than one person and you're not keeping track, it's easy to think, uh-oh, did I already do that one? So you want to kind of do it in a systematic way so that you don't have to try and figure out if there's holes in that potato, if there's potatoes in that hole or not. And potatoes pretty much are, I don't even water them after planting them because they're so deep when you plant them that there's enough moisture down there to begin with, and they sprout no matter what. I mean, they're a sturdy plant. I mean, they're going to grow whether you do anything with them or not. So I never water these guys after planting because they're planted in February and March when we're getting plenty of rain anyway. And then as far as irrigation during the season, it's typically every 3 days, watered deeply because these guys are deep down. And then usually in about Oh, August is when I cut back on the watering schedule, because that's when the potatoes are going to be fully formed underground, and then you don't want to keep adding moisture because you're going to have a problem potentially with wireworms coming up and attacking them. Let me go grab my rake from over there. I didn't bring it over here so I can smooth it out. So when you're all completely done with your bed, you want to get everything flat and smoothed over again. And I always go through, when I finish off with planting a bed or when I'm prepping it, I always go through and get out any of the little clumps. Because if they start drying and if your soil structure isn't great yet, the soil structure in these beds is pretty good because it's been 3 years now that they've been worked. When you first start out with a new bed though, you're not going to have that great of soil structure. It takes a few years to develop that. So you want to get any clumps out, because if they dry clumped, they're like concrete. So yeah, when you get done, I don't even water this, just leave it and the rain will water it. And that's pretty much all you got to do for planting potatoes. If you enjoyed the video, please like it and share it.